Hi, it is Sunday, November 25th. We're taking a look at ES and S&P 500 to start trade for November week 5, Monday, November 26th. Right now you're looking at a 5-minute chart of ES, and when you look over to the left here, you can see this sort of like gutting out, like liquidation move that we saw into the close on Friday. It was a straight shot down of about 14 points. The bell rang here with the S&P 500 at 2632, but then ES proceeded to sell off another 4 points lower than that before they closed up for Friday. And you can see that we gapped up open here Sunday night, kind of tried to flatten out along the area where things closed on Friday, and then have gravitated our way up. And so far, our overnight high, as of this video, is 2644.50, lower high against what was going on Friday, and kind of like rolling over a little bit right now as I make this video. Now, I don't know what the motivation for this gap up and run is, other than to maybe put prices back to where they were in the first place before this sort of sell-off into the close Friday, so that the powers that be that have all the money and didn't trade on Friday can get their puts and their calls on the S&P 500 tonight at 3 a.m. when trading for those opens up for those with the permits to trade them in the overnight session. Maybe they can get in on the puts there themselves, or maybe this is just another one of those jobs where we get screwed for holding puts over the weekend because they're going to gap up open and run tomorrow. But in any case, that's where we're at right now. Let's not panic if anybody held any unhedged puts over the weekend. Let's not panic unless we wake up in the morning and see futures trading up over 26.50 or so. So here's the 5-minute chart. One of the things that, aside from the 5-minute chart, let's take a look at the roadmap. We have this sell signal that's been going off now for 2 sessions on the S&P, with the 10-day crossing down through the 20-day, with both levels descending. And we're en route up here, a little higher up, for a death cross of the 50 and the 200-day, or maybe in about another week or so, if we don't start rallying and pick up out of this funk that we've been in, trading down here below 2670 or so. We still have this big gap here to fill to Monday's close, and we traded directly in a very tight range Tuesday, Wednesday, and then back again on Friday, between 2632 on the bottom and 2670 on the top. Our 10-day simple moving average is going to start moving down into our trading range tomorrow as well. I kind of estimate that this could be even lower than this gap. This 10-day is moving pretty fast now. I mean, it could be at 2690, it could be all the way down into this gap, and it could be sort of like a magnetic effect that's going on. The price is just gravitating towards that 10-day, and then once it reaches that, it's either going to fail or it's going to take it back and it's going to keep moving up. So let's take all that information and apply it back to our 5-minute S&P 500 chart. This was a concept that I introduced coming into the day for Friday, and it never played out because once again on Friday we stayed within this same trading range. One that I just mentioned when pointing to the roadmap, 2670 at the top, 2632 at the bottom. If we were to take that range and double it up, we would fill the gap, burst through the 10-day simple moving average, and then we would go ahead and trade all the way up over 2700 to about 2707, 2708 or so. If we were to open in the middle of this range once again here and come down and break this 2632 level, we could double down that range instead, and that would take us all the way down to about 2593 if we did a full double down of this 3-day wide trading range. And to get down there, we'd have to break through we'd have to break through this balance target on ES that some traders were calling for last week at 2620. We'd have to break through our current swing low of 2603 and do a slight break of 2600 altogether. And you know that once we break 2600, we get the 80 handle rule sort of kicking in, and we could just flush right through 2600 all the way to 2680. But if for some reason we magically stop, if we went through this scenario here, and we magically stop around 2695 to 2595 to 2593 or so, this is that double down phenomenon where we take a sort of like price trapped like in a can almost, and the can either bursts open to one way down or bursts open to the other side up. And we tend to double that whole range. Okay, so anyway, that gives you some ideas for things to look for on the open tomorrow, but mostly I would be looking to see if we're going to open above or below this 2647 to 2651 or so area. That was where we tapped out on Friday, and where we still have a little gap to where we closed going into the holiday on Wednesday. So if we open, filling this gap and start working our way up, I don't really see a short opportunity to try and enter at until we get all the way up here at 2670. If we were to open up above this area and you wanted to try and buy this dip and scalp this move to 2670 and see if there's enough of a buy program that can push us up above that 2670 and to complete this double up move, you would totally have a home run. If we open up flat and start to fail, and you've come in without any puts or anything, you can certainly try and get some puts here at 2650. But just know that if we get down to 2632 or a little bit lower than that, that might be all you're going to get out of the trade. So we've really got to break either upside or downside out of this trading range at 2670 to 2632, and then we can get either a nice short or a nice long trade out of this. I hope this all made sense and helps you get going in the morning. If you have any questions, just direct message me. I'm always around at least about an hour or so, hour and a half before the open every morning, so I'm happy to answer questions then. Take care. Have a good night.